Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Electric Viking. Fantastic to see you. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. And I hope you had an awesome day on planet Earth. Why not be excited about living in a world where it's going to just get better and better and better? And you've probably seen some of my first videos that I made in the first few months of this channel, because it's a pretty new channel. If you haven't, you should check them out. But one of my recurring themes is the world is actually getting better. Whether you want to believe that or not, it is actually true. There's a number of interesting books that talk about this issue, how many things in the world have improved drastically over the past decade. Violence, reduction in poverty, etc., etc. Now, there are things from time to time that are quite negative that the news talks about. And because we hear a 24/7 news cycle of negativity, we get trained to think that the world's actually becoming a bad place, when in fact it is not. But I'd like to talk about a company that I believe has been perpetuating this kind of negativity in the news lately, and that is Toyota. Now, as many of you know, Toyota has been bashing EVs because they're just not ready to make them. In fact, they do have a Lexus EV, which is basically a pretty bad vehicle. I mean, you could compare that car to at least 50 cars on sale right now in China, and it's inferior to all of them on so many metrics, price, range. The list goes on and on and on. But overall, Toyota just isn't in position to take advantage of the electric vehicle situation. Now, Ford itself isn't doing a whole lot better, but it has made some decisions lately within the last week that have given the company a much more positive outlook, and it hasn't been going out of its way to try to stop the EV revolution. But here is an interesting comment showing that even Ford is starting to realize what is happening, which is why I'm so shocked that Toyota still isn't. Ford has been caught short by unprecedented popularity in electric vehicles as it looks to introduce 5 electrified models in Australia even by 2024, which is amazing for Australia. Now, Ford's global general manager of battery electric vehicles, Darren Palmer, says the American car maker continues to underestimate the interest and increasing demand for EVs. The reaction has been twice or more what we could have expected. We're really struggling to keep up with demand. Now, he likened the change of Ford's strategy. Now, the man in charge of Ford's EV strategy likens the interest in electric vehicles and the acceptance of the technology to that of the switch to smartphones, such as the iPhone. And look what happened to Nokia when the iPhone became what it is today. Every week that goes past, we see customers that are taking these electric vehicles. Each one they get, they tell 10 family members. If I talk to a customer who has taken one of these electric vehicles, I never met one of them who will ever go back. The only product I ever saw that was 100% people are not going to go back is iPhones and smartphones. Now, the global car market has actually been contracting the last couple of years, but the EV market has gone up by more than 200% worldwide. And in many places, EVs are just ubiquitous. Look at Norway, look at Sweden, look at a number of different countries where EVs are becoming well and truly the most popular vehicle of choice. But we're still in the infancy days of EVs. EVs are still out of the price range for many people. Unless, of course, we took all the EVs out of China and put them anywhere else in the world, then everyone could afford one overnight. However, Toyota is still disinterested in EVs. So the interesting thing is, other companies are trying to take advantage of this situation. Now, a Toyota Land Cruiser electric vehicle has been confirmed. In fact, they've actually been built for the last couple of years for mining sites around the world. But there's yet another company getting in on this action, on this opportunity. So another electric Toyota Land Cruiser is on the way for mines, mine sites, and other agricultural places like that. And it's going to be made by Vivo Power. International sustainable energy company Vivo Power has done a 5-year deal with Toyota Australia to develop an all-electric version of the Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series using conversion kits from subsidiary Tembo. Now, the deal has nothing to do with plans for an electrified version of the next generation Toyota Land Cruiser 300 series, which has just broken cover with an all-new twin-turbo diesel V6 engine for Australia and for many other markets, but of course is eventually expected to become available with hybrid and maybe, who knows, full electric powertrains sometime in the future if Toyota survives long enough. Although many believe that Toyota actually aims to make the Land Cruiser a hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle at some point in the future. Now, a new prototype battery electric Toyota Land Cruiser 70 series has been on trial at a BHP nickel mine in Western Australia since early 2021. The converted vehicle is deployed underground and requires no diesel fuel to run. Now, obviously, one of the key reasons that electric vehicles are often used on mine sites, because diesel pollution underground is really, really bad. Now, firefighters die from cancers at a much higher rate to the general population because their fire engines run on diesel and they start them up when they're still in the station. And eventually, enough firefighters breathe in those fumes and they get sick. So the average firefighter globally has a 15-year reduction on their lifespan versus the general population. That's a true stat. Crazy, right? So the same thing applies to a mine. If you have operating a vehicle, toxic fumes from that diesel exhaust, then, of course, companies like BHP may be hit with huge court cases into the future when a lot of their miners develop cancers. Now, until now, Vivo Power had not been officially named as part of the project, with Toyota Australia attributing development work to its own product planning and development department in Port Melbourne. So Toyota has been lying and taking the credit, saying they're electrifying the Land Cruiser when actually they have nothing to do with it. It's a totally separate outside company that company are the ones who took the initiative with the aim to do this. Toyota didn't plan on this at all. Vivo Power has now signed a letter of intent with Toyota Australia, which it says will serve as the basis for the master services agreement that will govern their cooperation. Final terms of the MSA are under negotiation, but upon completion, it is intended that Vivo Power would become Toyota Australia's exclusive partner for Land Cruiser 70 electrification for a period of 5 years, with a further 2-year option period, 7 years in total, the Vivo Power statement read. In other words, Vivo Power are very confident Toyota has no plans on electrifying the Land Cruiser within the next 5 years. And I'd say they're probably on the money. Now, this statement was issued overnight by a UK PR firm, and the Vivo Power statement appeared to take Toyota Australia somewhat by surprise, with no announcement of its own issued concurrently. Now, Vivo Power says its expertise in electric vehicles, solar systems, critical power supply, and battery technology will give it a significant advantage. It has divisions based in the United States, Europe, and Australia. It was initially founded in Australia in 2014 as a rooftop solar company, but moved its headquarters to the UK in 2016 and floated on the Nasdaq later the same year. It acquired Tembo ELV and became involved in electric vehicles in October of 2020. Here's what they said. We're extremely pleased to be collaborating with Toyota Motor Company Australia, part of the world's largest original equipment manufacturer, on the electrification of their Land Cruiser vehicles with our Tembo conversion kits. Now, I suspect they would like to deploy these EVs at mine sites all over the world, and there would be definitely demand for them at every mine site in the world that uses Toyotas, which many of them do. The Land Cruiser, he said, is the vehicle of choice worldwide for mining and other ruggedized industries. This partnership with Toyota Australia is a testament to the outstanding potential of Trembo's technology to decarbonize transportation in some of the world's toughest and hardest to decarbonize industries. More importantly, it is a tremendous opportunity for us to work directly with Toyota Australia to optimize the Tembo product and deliver it to more customers around the world, helping them to achieve their net zero carbon objectives in the process. Now, I'm not really a fan of these net zero carbon objectives. I personally think it's kind of a way to market yourself as being, oh, look at me, look what I'm doing. To me, what's more important is just achieving results. And in a mine, I can tell you, when you're stuck underground, no amount of exhaust fans can really suck out enough diesel. And the reason I know this is because it's been shown that fire stations all over the United States, with their massive fan extraction kits, still don't get the diesel out of the fire station properly. That's a fire station. Imagine what it's like having a mine underground, how much harder it would be to extract those diesel exhaust fumes. Very, very challenging. the reason for this opportunity. Toyota doesn't want to take it, so someone else will. Now, this isn't the first time Vivo Power has done a deal to electrify Toyotas involved in mining duties. Only days ago, it announced a deal with a Canadian industrial equipment distributor to electrify more than 1,600 Hilux and Land Cruiser vehicles by 2026 using Tembo's ELV conversion kit. Now, this is a huge opportunity for a company like, well, Tesla, Rivian, Ford, GM, Ram, BYD with their new electric ute, Great Wall Motors with their new electric ute. All these companies could just come over here and just go to the mines and say, hey, guess what, mines? We're going to give you an electric car. You don't need to buy this $150,000 electric converted vehicle from Tembo. Just take our electric vehicle. We'll sell it to you for $60,000 or whatever the price may be, half the cost of one of these new converted Toyota Land Cruiser vehicles. That will probably happen because Toyota is going to be very, very late to electrifying their pickup trucks, their utes. They may not do it for at least, probably, I would say 6, 7, 8 years, if they do it at all. Now, if you work at Toyota or if you know someone at Toyota, please give them a message from me. Tell them to shut up and stop talking negatively about EVs because it's only going to lead to their demise, so they're going to make it even quicker. It's time to focus on reality. EVs are the new iPhone. They're the future. They're here to stay, and it doesn't matter what Toyota says or does. They're coming. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.